one of the things that I think is like pretty alarming about the TikTok trend is that even me, who's pretty guarded and I've been a minimalist for going on 10 years, I want to say like 9 years, I was pretty influenced. And I think that it's the aesthetic aspect that makes it so attractive. Like, hey there, my handsome and pretty little Cobras, and welcome back to the Cobras Nest. For those who hear you, my name is Mignon Cobra and I make minimalism videos. So today's minimalism video is going to be TikTok's hyperconsumption problem. So without further ado, let's just get into the video. Let's get it, let's go. Woo. First and foremost, I just want a disclaimer, like I'm not here hating on anybody who thinks the trend, the hyper-consumeristic trend of TikTok is amazing. I'm kind of indifferent to it. I think like live and let live. I'm not here judging anyone. This is not me being a judgy minimalist like, oh my god, this is destroying the world and destroying your finances. I mean, I think we already all know that. I hate being preachy, that's not my vibe. I just kind of wanted to discuss it with you guys because my community is primarily made up of Gen Z and young millennials. So I figured let's have a little discussion, like what's your take on the TikTok trend? Before, I used to use TikTok without being logged in, so it didn't give me an algorithm, it just showed me just popular stuff. But once I made an account and I started using it more, I guess, like a regular user, I realized that like, wow, there's a lot of hyper-consumerism, a lot of like skincare and like shopping and just like a lot. And I was like, wow, I haven't seen this level of consumerism since like, I want to say like the early 2000s. A little bit of context, I'm in my 30s. But yeah, it was just like really cool to see that because it was like these new users for TikTok, they're very young. They probably have not been through some of the recessions that we've gone through, like the 2008 and the most recent one, the Panini one. So I was like, well, maybe the Panini one, maybe. But I think they were probably very young in that. So I just think it's like really cool to see that like that wave of consumerism that I was like, maybe they don't know what are some of the negative repercussions of hyper-consumerism. That was my first thought, because like they're young, they don't know any better. Other videos that I've watched on this topic about TikTok's hyper-consumption issue is that like, how dare they and don't they know the consequences? I feel like that's such a harsh judgment because like they're just children. I know you might argue, well, they're not all just children. I know. But generally speaking, it is a younger demographic. I feel like the content creators, for the most part, are also a younger demographic. So I think that I like to just think ignorance is the root of all of this. I don't really think it's malicious intent. I don't think people are shopping with the intention like,
yeah, I can't wait till this goes into a landfill. Right there, yes, want that.
No, people are shopping because, you know, this is filling in an emotional void. They're shopping to fulfill some ideal aesthetic that they have in their mind, or they're probably thinking this is gonna increase the number of views and TikTok subscribers. So yeah, I think a little bit of compassion is warranted in this. The second thing that I want to say is that the TikTok hyperconsumption is pretty influential, even for a minimalist. So as somebody who's a minimalist, I'm not even gonna lie, it's pretty influential. There's been plenty of things that I got influenced into buying that I was like, wow, that was really good. Just because like prior to TikTok, I've done a really good job throughout my minimalism journey of like, you know, working and healing my inner self, and a lot of things that used to like hurt me and I felt like shopping would solve them. But in my minimalism journey, especially during my extreme minimalism days, there's a lot of ruthless identity cutting that I did, where it's like, I don't need this, I don't need that, like that's not part of my identity, that's not who I truly am. And so that also involved cutting a lot of material possessions out of my life and shopping as a general like lifestyle or shopping addiction. I discovered a lot about myself through that. But one of the things that I think is like pretty alarming about the TikTok trend is that even me, who's pretty guarded and I've been a minimalist for going on 10 years, I want to say like 9 years, I was pretty influenced. And I think that it's the aesthetic aspect that makes it so attractive. Like you feel like you're buying into that. They're selling you a dream. I think TikTok does a wonderful job of modeling like a modern Hollywoodification, if that makes any sense. Because I think that for me, I felt like a really strong pull for shopping when I used to watch a lot of TV or the movies. And in the earlier days of YouTube, which is some sort of like, you know, television, I would see these influencers and this glamorization, and if I bought what they bought, I too could be part of who they are. And like, there's no shame in admitting these things. I think, you know, awareness is key. But I think that TikTok models a lot of that, but like on acid, on like ×2 speed. It's like right there. A couple seconds you watch a video. Whereas before with YouTube, there might have been a slightly slower form of consumption. Although you guys have seen like the makeup vanities that were like the 2000s, that was a mess and a half as well too. Like I'll be completely honest, but just a very interesting thing. And I think another thing too is that like the speed at which consumption, and this is the next point, TikTok is part of the speed of consumption, which I think probably makes this even that much more horrifying. You're watching these videos so quickly, right? Like a video could just be like a couple seconds long, versus like back in the day you would have to watch like an entire 10-minute YouTube video. And online shopping didn't really become a thing till like, or at least popularized until the pandemic happened. So prior to that, you would still need to go to the store and physically buy things. But I think that a lot changed after the pandemic, both TikTok and hyperconsumption in the e-commerce realm, because TikTok had a big boom, everyone was at home, and so did e-commerce. A lot of stores pretty much changed their infrastructure to match demand, and I think it's just really interesting that the two go hand in hand. A lot of people can easily access shopping from the comforts of a computer. Just bink, buy something on your phone, bink. It's just like super easy. And TikTok and all of it just literally being on your screen. Like, you don't even have to leave your house to go on a shopping bender. Before, you had to kind of sort of look half human to go to the store to buy something, and see people around you and physically take money out of your wallet. That's not the case anymore. Like, you don't even need your credit card anymore. You can, I've seen these things where it's like, you can like, it's prepaid, or you just put your fingerprint and it's like, think. I don't have any of those things because like I don't trust myself like that. So it's a completely different world of self-restraint and delayed gratification to fight that level of temptation. Like, you're constantly on TikTok and it's constantly selling you things. It's like, oh my god, look what I bought, Amazon haul, and like, look at my massive skincare collection, and come get dressed with me, and I bought this at Aritzia. And I'm just totally calling myself out because that's what I watch. The only reason I can tell you this is because that's what I watch. And then you see it and then like, you're like, oh my god, yes, I want it. Like, literally the scuba is something that I discovered on TikTok. I was like I didn't know that it was a scuba. Like, I saw this sweater on TikTok, and when I went to Lulu and I saw it, then I made the two connections. I was like, oh, that's a scuba. Do you think I would have known that? I didn't know what the hell a scuba is. I didn't even know why it was called a scuba. I was like, isn't a scuba diver? But as I did more research, I realized, oh, it's like the aesthetic of the jacket mimics a scuba suit. So how can you combat this? Obviously, the easy answer is just get rid of the thing off your phone, which is what I did. But I know that is extremely aggressive, especially with the digital gen. I would not recommend that to anybody. Like, for me, I didn't grow up on TikTok. So for me, I easily delete the app when I'm tired of it, delete, and then I reinstall it. I have that issue with Instagram. I can't uninstall Instagram like as willy-nilly as I can with TikTok. So I know that this tip might not be one that really resonates with a lot of people. But I think that what you can do is maybe curate your algorithm. Try your best to flip from that, clean out the people that you follow. Another thing is restrict the amount of time that you go on the app. Don't go on it the whole time. When you get that little video that says, hey, you've been on for a long time, I think get off of it. The moment I get that thing, I'm like, oh, all right, it's telling me we're done for tonight. I think that's like at the hour mark, so it's not good for your mental health. Another thing that you can do is probably watch more, de-influencing you videos. I think those are great. And maybe a little tidbit that I can give as a seasoned minimalist that could kind of help with like the hyper consumption of TikTok is realizing that the things that you want to buy, you can do them by just being them. Buying those things won't make you that. Like, if you want to be fit, you don't have to buy a Nike suit. Is that a thing? An Aritzia romper to work out. Just go work out. You can do it in ugly sweats. You know, it'll make for an aesthetic, grungy TikTok video. If you want to be rich, buying luxury designer stuff is not the way to buy your way to riches. It's like actually going out and getting, a job or running a business. So yeah, whatever it is TikTok's trying to sell you, look at what they're selling you in terms of an ideology and try to figure out how you can do that for free. You don't need to do it by opening your wallet. So that is my take on TikTok's hyperconsumption from the perspective of a minimalist. Comment down below if any of these things resonated with you. I would love to hear it, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.